not the virtual machine, the 64-bit version of Windows. So let me just explain what's been happening. Until recently, I have not been using the 64-bit version of Windows. I had it installed. It's been sat there for like 2 or 3 years or something. A friend sent me the image, or a link to get the image, and I downloaded it. Now, I've noticed something rather odd and rather distressing, actually. When it accesses my other partitions on my hard drive, which are 32-bit or formatted for the Windows 32-bit XP version, the 64-bit version of Windows seems to cause problems if I write any data to those drives, especially if I run a disk utility like a defrag tool or a disk doctor tool or something. What basically happens is if I run the disk doctor tool to check the disk, it says that the disk is full of errors, but the disk is not full of errors. So I'm getting misreporting or something, right? So what happens is it tries to fix the problems and then it creates problems. So I'm reluctant to use it. I'll actually map any of my drives actually to it at the moment. It's okay for running the virtual machines, but I still need to access my data, you see. So I'm not asking anyone to commit fraud or anything, because I don't need the product key. I just need the image, and from what I understand, the images are usually free anyway. But it's finding a good source, because there's so many, as you know, there's so many pirated versions of Windows XP around. It's difficult to know if you're getting a clean OEM, as in unmessed around with, because this is the issue we have these days with hackers and people that basically try to pack some stuff into these images to try to make money out of other people. I've had to restore my Windows XP 32-bit version because it got messed up. There was a load of drive errors, and I thought, what the hell's going on here? Well, obviously the 64-bit version of Windows, the XP 64-bit, does use the 32-bit partition to store certain information in it, so this is what's really distressing, is the fact that every single one of my partitions had errors on it, and I'm talking about 4 physical hard drives, and it's really pissing me off, actually, because I've just backed up a load of data, which is a good thing. But what usually happens is when I do run the disk check, I end up with these other load of folders that say found, and all of my files seem to disappear into the found folder, and then I've got to the mundane task of sorting out all the files and finding out where they came from and putting them back where they belong and all this, and I just don't want to be doing all that. I just don't need these problems. So I've got a bootable ISO image, but as I say, this is the problem. There's something wrong with the disk. So I need a clean copy. Now, I considered buying one, but it's flipping expensive, and I don't want to buy one because I don't need to buy the product key. It's normally you buy a disc off Amazon or something, and it's like 200 odd quid, isn't it? But you're actually not paying for the disc itself, or the installation disc. What you're actually paying for is the product key, the original certifications sort of part of it. Well, I don't need that because I've already got that, so I just need to replace the image with a clean one, because this image is not right. So maybe somebody can leave me a comment. Oh, the problem is you can't post links in my comments because, well, they go into a special folder called withheld until I review them. But obviously that's okay, because if you send me a comment with a link in it, nobody else will get to see it, but I can see it, which is alright. So don't be distressed if you do send me a link to an image that you know is clean. If it doesn't appear after you post it, click the comment button to send it, and you'll think, oh, where's my comment gone? It hasn't appeared, blah, blah, blah. Well, it does. It's in the review folder, so I can still see it. I can see it, but no one else can. Anyway, the only other thing I'm thinking about doing is looking on eBay, but that's a bit dodgy in itself. I could end up buying something that's from China. That's the problem with that. I've looked on Amazon, but there's nothing really. There's only one image there, and it's like 80-something quid. Oh yeah, I need to synchronize. I've just restored my C drive because I'm going to run my disk utilities to see if I've got any more errors showing up. So I restored my C drive, and as soon as this is finished booting, I can resynchronize all my configuration files, which is basically to update my 3D printer settings and everything, which is to the latest, because I've lost all my recent settings because yeah, because I've just restored the C drive just from the backup. Right, so anyway, I'm hoping that somebody has a solution there, because I just don't want any. There's some. It might just be that there's a problem with the 64-bit, or there might be a compatibility problem between the partition types. It might be that it's something to do with block sizes, 5 and 12 bytes per block or something like that. There could be some incompatibility, or somebody might have corrupted the installation CD so that it creates abnormal byte blocks. Now, if that's the case, that's why I'm having problems. So that's probably what they've done. I don't know. Maybe there's another way of figuring out what's going on, but I'm not really that good with byte blocks and all this, setting all that up in Windows. But it might be just that it might be a very, very deep problem that I can't figure out. I'd rather just get a clean CD that's not been hacked, because you don't know what else is being messed with, you see, that's the thing. Right, I'm just going to synchronize my folders. I'm just going to put all my... see if I can zoom in and show you. So I'll just be syncing all my files, which... Oh, come on, focus, will you? Right. So anyway, that's... basically my problem. Alright, okay, it seems to have done that. So anyway, I don't need that. So I'm going to recheck now for errors. I'm hoping that there is no errors now, because I've just restored. Let's just check this all out. Let's just scan everything again. I'll do a thorough analysis. Yeah, well, every single partition came up with errors, and I thought, well, that can't be right. I don't trust it. I mean, I don't believe that every single one of my partitions has got errors in it. It's something in Windows. I'm in Windows 32-bit right now, but something in Windows x64 had messed up my boot 32-bit Windows XP. I don't know how, but that's the theory. Or it might have a frigging virus in it that's not recognised by any antivirus software. I don't know. So, anyway, this scan is running really fast now. I'll tell you what happened when I was scanning previously. When I scanned these drives earlier, it got stuck right there, right where it is now. It got stuck for ages. Oh, and it's not stuck now. So there's something fishy going on with the 64-bit version of Windows, because this is not stuck now, and I restored from backup, and it's flying through this E drive. And the E drive, my E partition is where I keep my emails and all that shit, that's why it's under E. Well, when I scanned this...
Batch completed successfully.
When I scanned this earlier, just before I restored my C drive, which is my XP 32-bit, it took absolutely ages. It took like nearly 30 minutes to scan E, which is ridiculous because it's only like a 5 GB partition. So yeah, there's definitely something wrong and something getting into my 32-bit, something's corrupting my 32-bit. You see, you have to remember the 64-bit version of Windows is accessing my C drive, which, because the 64-bit version of Windows is installed on drive, what is it? Drive K, I think. No, drive M. It's installed on drive M. So it's actually using the C drive as to store information. It stores like boot records and stuff in the C drive, which is what corrupted my C boot drive. And I have a suspicion that if I go and boot into Windows XP 64-bit again, the same thing's going to happen. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing a test. I am doing the scans to see that all my partitions are okay, and then I'm going to boot into Windows 64-bit, and I'm just going to use it for a few hours without accessing any files or any other drives, and then I'm going to reboot back into the 32-bit version of XP. Then I'm going to run this scan again and see if anything's changed, or if there's any files that have got, if it starts to show up as drive errors again. That's all I can do really to determine if it's definitely the 64-bit that's got a problem, and I'm pretty sure it has. And I remember now that it was the last time I really used the 64-bit was about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know, 2 years ago maybe. I think it was 2 years ago, about 2017 or something, 2018. So, and I've forgotten that I stopped using it because I came across this problem before, and I thought, bugger it, I'll come back to this and sort it out later. But I completely forgot all about it, and I didn't even remember that there was a problem with it. So, and I went and made the same mistake again, and I'm probably going to end up with lost file fragments. I don't know. I hope not, because I don't want to lose anything important. But I have backed up my important data anyway. So, but it's annoying because there's a gap in my E drive right now. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a gap there, and I'm wondering what was there. Have I lost a file? Has one of my files been truncated and disappeared? I don't know. I'll find out when I check to see if there's any found entries. Oh, it's stuck again, I think. Hopefully it's not stuck. It's probably just doing some small files right now. Let's just check my light if it's flash. Oh, it's running alright. The light's flashing pretty good. So it's not stuck. Normally if it's stuck, the light stays on and it just sits there for ages. Anyway, yeah, that's it just for now. Oh yeah, some other update news. Guess what arrived today? My filament, yay! So, my 3D filament arrived. I haven't had a chance to unbox it yet, but yeah, I'm going to hopefully get back on with that at the weekend. But at the moment I need to sort the computer out, so the sooner I can get my computer sorted out and get this problem sorted out with the drives and get a new image or whatever, the sooner I can get on with the printer. Right, see you later.